The first thing that pulls you into Billy Singh's story isn't the kill count, the reputation, or even the fear his name generated among Ottoman troops. It's the fact that for decades most people barely knew he existed. And that's the hook here. In a war where artillery and disease claimed most lives, one quiet, disciplined marksman carved out a legacy so brutal and precise that both allies and enemies documented his work. By the time he left Gallipoli, the man the ANZACs called the Assassin and the Turks called the Silent Death had over 200 confirmed kills, many taken under suffocating heat, disease-ridden trenches and constant counter-sniper pressure. This wasn't luck. It wasn't bravado. It was the result of a ruthlessly refined system he built for himself and executed with the calm of a craftsman. If you've ever wondered how one man could dominate a battlefield with nothing more than a rifle, patience, and an understanding of human nature, Billy Singh is the case study worth your time. And if you run a survival mindset, a military interest, or simply want to understand mastery in its rawest form, his story is a masterclass. Billy Singh's rise in the trenches shows how discipline, not bravado, creates a battlefield predator. Before Gallipoli, Singh was a Queensland ringer, used to long hours, long distances, and long silences. That background created the key traits that made him lethal: patience, endurance, and the ability to remain motionless for hours without losing alertness. In the trenches of Gallipoli, where dust and heat punished even the strongest, that stamina allowed him to outlast counter-snipers who simply couldn't match his stillness. If you want to pull something practical from this, it's simple. In any high-pressure environment, whether it's stalking game, hiding from a threat, or undertaking surveillance, the winner isn't always the most skilled. Often, it's the one who can remain disciplined long after others mentally crack. That mental endurance becomes a weapon. His method was based on understanding human habits, not just marksmanship. Billy Singh rarely fired without purpose. He worked with spotter Tom Sheehan, a man who knew how to read the enemy's routine, the angles of the trenches, and the smallest cues that revealed a head or rifle about to crest the parapet. Singh treated the battlefield like a predictable machine. Once he understood the rhythm, he controlled the outcome. This is where many modern interpretations miss the point. His 200 confirmed kills weren't the product of shooting everything that moved. They were the result of studying where soldiers relaxed, where they got careless, where they repeated behaviors, and where predictable motions created openings. There's a practical parallel here. In real-world survival situations, urban or wilderness, predictable human behavior becomes a map. People take the same shortcuts, check the same angles, look away at the same moments. Understanding those patterns gives you the power to avoid threats or position yourself advantageously. Singh didn't wait for opportunity. He learned the routine so well that opportunity had no choice but to show itself. Every shot he took was shaped by environmental mastery, not improvisation. Gallipoli wasn't a friendly landscape. Heat warped metal, glare off the sea blinded optics, dust clogged rifles. Yet Singh's effectiveness came from pre-adjusting his position long before he ever squeezed a trigger. He knew when the wind shifted off the water. He knew when the sun would wash out a scope. He understood how rising heat created mirage that distorted distance, and instead of fighting the environment, he integrated it into his method. Anyone who trains in marksmanship or fieldcraft knows that environmental awareness is the line between competence and mastery. But even beyond shooting, this principle applies widely. Whether it's reading wind when tracking an animal, using shadows for concealment in an urban setting, or predicting temperature shifts for shelter placement, understanding your environment removes uncertainty. Singh's legacy is proof that skill alone isn't enough. Environmental literacy is what turns skill into control. His duel with the Turkish sniper, known as Abdul the Terrible, demonstrates the power of counter-thinking. Ottoman forces eventually deployed their own master sniper to eliminate Singh, a man recorded in ANZAC notes as Abdul the Terrible. Their duel wasn't a Wild West showdown. It was a quiet, suffocating battle of angles, patience, and deception. Abdul used decoys. Singh read the decoys. Singh shifted positions. Abdul read the shift. Hours passed. Eventually, Singh predicted that a counter-sniper under pressure would shift to a secondary firing slit, and he aimed at that slit before Abdul even appeared. When the Turkish sniper moved into position, Singh was already waiting. From a practical standpoint, this is a lesson in proactive thinking. Don't react to an opponent's move. Predict their next one. Whether that's reading the intentions of a suspicious stranger, anticipating an animal's escape route, or planning your next move in a hostile environment. The advantage goes to the one who thinks one decision deeper. The legacy of Billy Singh shows that mastery isn't loud, it's consistent. What makes Singh relevant today isn't the kill count. It's the demonstration that mastery builds quietly. He didn't brag, he didn't dramatize his actions, he worked a system, refined it daily, and executed it relentlessly. For modern survivalists and historians, his story reinforces that the most effective techniques are often the simplest ones, performed with the highest discipline. Routine observation, predictable angles, environmental awareness, controlled patience. These aren't glamorous skills, but they are the foundation of every serious fieldcraft discipline, military or civilian. And that's why his story matters to battlefield survival viewers. It's a reminder that the deadliest individuals aren't the ones with the fanciest weapons. They're the ones who master the fundamentals without compromise. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep, historically grounded survival and warfare insight, make sure you subscribe to Battlefield Survival and share this video so more serious history buffs can dive into stories like this one.